Hey, record loving friends, this is Brian coming to you again from Tokyo Record Style. It is the middle of the week and we're nearly to the weekend. This weekend on Saturday, September 23rd at Talking Gorilla in Shimokitazawa Station is our 14th edition of Top 5 Records, where we count down our top 5 records on various themes. Me and my DJ friends, and we got two special guests this week. We've got Asano Michael and DJ Mike Wasabi. And Michael Warren will be joining me, so it'll be 3 mics. Brian will be surrounded by 3 mics. So please check for the link in the comments, and please come if you're in the neighborhood and come celebrate. We'll have 2 sets of music, and then we'll have a little talk show where we'll count down our top 5, and we'll have a little presentation, and then we'll have 2 more sets of music. And come for as little or as long as you'd like. It's going to be a fun get together, and this is our 14th time, and it's kind of growing. And I have a very big thank you to send out to somebody who's going to help us realize this project. Again, because we hit a little roadblock. But before I do that, last night I got a really nice message from a friend the same friend who sent me the mixtape from a couple of videos ago. I hadn't spoken to them in a million years, but every once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year, I get just a song or two. We still share music. And it inspired me to bust out my copy of one of my other favorite records, Exile on Main Street. I don't know the details about this record. I'm going to guess this is probably from 71, the Rolling Stones, of course. I think the photography on this really iconic cover is Robert Frank or William Klein. I think it's Robert Frank though. I'm 90% sure it's Robert Frank. But this is kind of a fat edition. This is the second time I've owned this. I may have another copy of it, but this is like maybe a 2014 release, and it's kind of an interesting one. But this album is just so chock full of great music. If you don't know Exile on Main Street, you're doing yourself a disservice to not listen to it. Go listen to Exile on Main Street. Even if you know this record and heard it 1,000 times, go put it back on, because it just never gets old. And it's the perfect record to play in the middle of the night when you're working really hard by yourself. I love this record. But this one's a weird one because this has probably been issued 1,000 times, but this one opens. It's one of these that comes out from the inside. And what's kind of cool about this one is that it came with the records in the polyvinyl sleeves, like in the good kind of sleeves with the plastic on the inside, so the records don't get paper scratched. And I think these are 33 RPM, yeah. And I think this is, it's a 2000 something edition, but it also comes with the inserts that possibly came with the original or one of the originals. But these are I don't know what these are called, but is this the one? This might not be that record. Okay, yeah, these are just like there's another one that has like the track listings, the mixing board track listings. It must be like Tatsuo or a different one. I forget which one it is. But these are really cool. They're like hand drawn. They tell you all the sides. I mean, side 1, rocks off, rip this joint, hip shake. End of side 2, oh God, you've got side 2, beginning of side 2, Sweet Virginia, Torn and Frayed. That's a killer song. And ends record 1 with Loving Cup. And side 3, you have Happy. You have Let It Loose, close the side 1. That was the tune that was sent to me last night. Shine a Light, Soul Survivor. These are killer records. And I think the original edition of this record also shipped, which is kind of sometimes it happens. It's shipped with this big long list of postcards. And, it's almost sacrilegious to like break them up and send them out as postcards. But that's exactly what I did. I've probably ripped off 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and I've sent them as postcards to my pals. And it has this hilarious scene. It's like a time lapse of like, I think like they're all backstage. They're wearing sort of these like silly black and white costumes that like from the 40s or some 20s, and something like blows up and it's all kind of over. Let's see what it says here on the back. Scene 12, okay, the fall of Exile on Main Street. There's scene 11, scene 10. Which ones have I given out? Okay, I've given out scenes 1 through 3, and scene 4 of The Fall of Exile on Main Street, featuring Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Mick Taylor, Charlie Watts, Bill Wyman. Mick reviews the situation. Is this it? Is this the home and the welcome committee? Okay, so there's little gags on all of them. But what's kind of fun, I'll tell you one more thing that I'm kind of into. I wasn't gonna, yeah. I'll tell you another thing that I'm into is my hipster typewriter. This is the Olympia SM9, and I saw actually Robert Frank. That's a weird coincidence. I saw an exhibition that was an exhibition of letters that Robert Frank corresponded with a Japanese publisher. Robert Frank had sort of disappeared, who famously, made the Americans, the famous book Americans, and sort of showed a slightly realistic, less flattering version of America that the rest of the world didn't really know. He famously drove across America and went to all the in-between places and photographed diners and cabarets and juke joints and these kinds of things, and he showed sort of a more realistic side of America than may have been portrayed on movies and TV. And Jack Kerouac famously wrote the intro. And anyway, Robert Frank kind of went into obscurity into, I want to say Malmo, but I think that's sweet, some obscure Nova Scotian city up in like northeastern Canada. And this Japanese publisher wanted to kind of be like, yo, whatever happened to Robert Frank? Where is he? And so he said, let's publish a book. And they ended up publishing a killer book. Gosh, I'll just read it. The book that they ended up publishing is called Lines of My Hand, or is it, yeah, The Lines of My Hand, yeah. And this is a really amazing book, and it kind of is set, that's funny, the page I turned to is the cover of the Americans. But this was considered sort of like one of the first autobiographical photo books. A lot of people have gone on to make, I mean, this is, my buddy who kind of inspired the Tokyo Record Style project, John Saipal, he will be one to speak about this. Go follow Tokyo Camera Style to maybe find a post about this. This was actually one of the photos that was in the exhibition. Porofile, I don't know what that means. I think Robert Frank was Swiss. He was half Swiss, half American, or yeah, all right, maybe he was Swiss, but you can see he wrote on photos like this, and it was really quite cool. And there was this letter correspondence that was being exhibited as a photo show between the publisher of this book, whose name I should know, and Frank. And basically it looked like Frank he had just didn't have any paper in the middle of wherever he was. And so he just pulled out photographs because it was the most, the closest thing that he could write on. And he sent his letters, his correspondence to the publisher, typewritten, typewriter written on top of photographs. And I was like, oh, that is so cool. So I went out and got a typewriter, and I was like, I want to try using it. I want to see what using a typewriter is like. Now, of course, typewriters aren't, I grew up with a typewriter. They weren't ancient history even when I was a kid. We still had typewriters. But I just luckily stumbled into the Olympia SM9. This is like the Leica of typewriters, and I didn't know that at the time. I just randomly looked for one. This thing is a dream to type on, and using a typewriter is really interesting because it really flexes a part of your brain that you forgot about. It's you don't have a delete button on a typewriter, which makes you really deliberate in your word choice. And so it's a really interesting way to try to express yourself. And I've found that I'm getting a great deal of satisfaction from using this. And I have a dream to perhaps someday put the stories that I write about on the stories that I write for Tokyo Record Style. I'd love to exhibit them with some typewritten stories that accompany the photos. So that's kind of a long, and so I've been sending my postcards through the typewriter, and I've been writing, you know, actually I've made actual typos, which is really fun. And yeah, so how great is it to get a postcard in the mail? Send some postcards to people, and maybe if you find a postcard, I mean, the Pink Floyd records, a lot of records famously had postcards in them. Maybe don't be shy about sending them out. Maybe I'll put that message out there. Yeah, of course they're like great to have, but how great are they to like receive in the mail? It's so cool. So Exile on Main Street. The next thing I have to do is to give a big thank you. I'm going to do an unboxing, a little bit of an unboxing. I got 2 packages today from supporters of this project, and in one of the package is an incredibly nice gift. A projector. A very nice projector. I have been borrowing one, and I was renting one, and finally somebody pulled through for me and supplied us with a projector. This is the same one that we've been using, but also I didn't realize it, but it's also like a Bluetooth speaker. I wasn't planning to use it as a Bluetooth speaker, but this is the Anker Nebula II. And I did a lot of research about what the best kind of cheapest one, and it seems like this one's the best cost performance that you can get. And I made an Amazon wish list on tokyo.record.style, and I want to thank the person who went to the Amazon wish list and get this. I'm going to open it up real quick. Maybe I might abandon this unboxing because it just might be like a little bit too much. And do we really care about unboxing? I mean, it's sort of stupid, but I mean, okay, let's see here. It's got a little, oh, that's kind of cool, yeah. Modern packaging. It's got a little magnet in it. I should be careful here. Okay, it opens up. It has a nice little picture of what to expect on the inside. Kids watching. Now, I actually don't have any wall space to really put this thing to use. So I'm actually strictly using it for this event, although I may. So you open it up, and yeah, it looks like one of these pill speakers, you know, and yeah, Nebula. You can't see it, but Anker. It's that company that's out there that's making. You know, they used to just be on eBay or Amazon. Then you've got the package here with the. Oh, there you go. I just did it. Remote control. Yeah, you connect to this with like Android, or what is it? Like, yeah, Android, Google, whatever interface. It's got buttons on the top. I don't really care about unboxing this, but I do care about the privilege that it is to receive, gracious contributions from people who support the project. So I really want to send a very, very, very big thank you to our supporters. This is game changer, and this was a big ask, and I really, really appreciate it. Looks like there's going to be a charger in here, and this also came through another package, and this is a case for the projector. So perfectly, fitted case for the projector. The charger goes here. The remote control goes there. Yeah, so safe transportation. This will allow us to share our top 5 presentations on the big screen so everybody can see it together. This is incredible. So I really can't thank you enough. Amazing, amazing generosity. Cool. So, typewriters, Robert Frank, Exile on Main Street, send a postcard to somebody, and the cool projector. And this Saturday is Top 5 Records, Volume 14, The Color of Music, Brian, aka DJ Zebrio, Michael Warren, Mike Wasabi, and Asano Michael. So it's going to be a lot of fun from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. at Shimokitazawa Station at Talking Gorilla. So see you there. Drop a like or a comment, subscribe down there. I'm supposed to do that. And yeah, until next time, see you guys out there. Bye.